Give me 1 second. I'm just setting up, making sure everything's looking good. But I got a lot to say, Okay. Alright, boys. Now, I was not planning on going in on this Dana White press conference like I'm about to do. What up, Andrew? Shout out my boy Andrew. One of the, two people in here right now? Let's go. The stream will be popping shortly, I imagine. Now, I want to preface my commentary. I was not planning on going in on this press conference like I'm about to. And honestly, it really has nothing to do with Dana White. In fact, I'm nearly sympathetic for the man. And at this point, it's getting to a point. You know what I mean? I understand why he's not as present at these things. It's a waste of fucking time. And that's what we're going to get into right now. We're also going to get into this whole BMF dispute, Max Holloway, Ilia Topuria, JDM inserting his name into the mix as the lineal. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Let's see what else we got to talk about. Paulo Costa's press conference. I want to touch on that. I want to touch on what's going to be next for Max. And then we got some other stuff we could touch on as well. But we're going to get right into this Dana White press conference right now. I had timestamps and everything, and now I'm just like, bro, you know what? As I'm watching it, the things that weren't worth mentioning are now worth mentioning. So we're going to do this whole 18-minute fucking thing. It might take a minute.
What's up, gang? How are you? The attendance tonight was 18,138, sold out. $8.09 million, the highest grossing gate ever at the arena. The fight of the night was Vettori and Allen. Performance of the night, Islam, Gautier, and is that Carly? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so, I mean, right here. We already know what I'm going to say, but it needs to be said again. Dana White, what the hell are you thinking? Pure disrespect. Just the sheer back and forth in the Max Holloway fight, the sheer skill level in that fight, for you to snub these guys is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
They all won 50,000. Congrats to them. And it was a tough one between Vettori and Kevin Holland's fight.
It was a tough one. Between Vettori and Kevin Holland fight in D-Rod. Now, in my opinion, it probably should have been D-Rod Kevin Holland, who went out in a stretcher, and hopefully he's doing all right, and Holloway Poirier for the debate. Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen was not the fucking fight for fight of the night. I'm sorry. Where was the controversy in that one? Where was the craziness? They both pretty much stood up on their feet the whole time. No, not as many droppages. Very close fight all throughout. In my opinion, the wrong guy won. I thought the decision should have gone to Marvin.
Yeah. Huh?
Main event as well.
Huh? Yeah. A good point. Very good point.
That's a solid point. But that's all it is. A solid point. This is the first thing I'm going to get into. It's fine that you guys ask the question. And, you know, I don't want to be the critique at these press conferences. And I'm sure it's a lot harder of a job to some degree than I'm going to make it out to be right now. But the veterans here, the guys who are in with Dana White, I mean, why aren't you more fucking witty? Why don't you fucking rebuttal back more? You know, like, you should have the fucking relationship at this point. My thing? Why don't ask again? Why not ask something along the lines of, why don't you think that they deserved it? What made you go with that one? Why don't you press him? Why don't you be like, hey, you know what I mean? That's kind of like crazy, Dana. How do you do that when, like, Max and everything I just explained? It's disappointing, for one. I had something else to say, but just kind of slipped my mind. But you know what I mean? That's what I'll have to say about this one. You guys got to ask more questions. Why not ask if they can get a bonus too? You guys, this is what I was just going to say. Instead of that whole thing, it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay, moving on to the next question. We don't really give a fuck. When you're in the moment right there, that is a fucking headline we need to talk about. And Max is going to bring it up later on. But instead, they just chuckle and laugh about it. Instead of pressing the issue, they just awkwardly chuckle and laugh about it. You come here week after week. I mean, you have no criticisms of yourself that you need to, like, that you try to, like, work on? Make the same mistakes over and over again. Chuckling with him over the fact that Max didn't get it. Like, that's crazy. You guys shouldn't be chuckling about that. You should actually be like, dude, what the fuck are you thinking? Bro, it doesn't matter, Jonathan. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. Just to let them feel seen, deserve. No, get the fuck out of here. And not telling you, I'm happy you're watching here, Jonathan. But I'm saying that with that mindset, that spread it around to everybody mindset. Why? Okay, so Jonathan, let's speak about that, because that's the elephant in the room, isn't it? Because why? These guys don't get paid their share anyway. You're talking about ranked fighters. You're talking about ranked fighters that need to share the wealth with ranked fighters. They're not making enough already. These are ranked fighters you're talking about. I understand that Max got the bonus in that last one, but he earned it. He competed with everybody on that card. That shouldn't go into play of who's getting bonuses this time around. And my question is, you know, is Dana the one making that decision? Does he have staff making this decision? Kind of, you know, leaning on Jonathan's train of thinking here. I wonder who makes this decision. Dana seemed completely, like, unaware that, like, oh, Max should have been in it. And again, there should be a lot more pressing of that alone. That alone deserves a lot more pressing. It's not laugh with Dana. That's not what this is. We got a lot more to get into. We're just getting started. We haven't even gotten 49 seconds into this.
We'll start with the main event. You know, another BMF title fight that lived up to the hype, right? The two guys going there and leaving it all in the octagon. Give us your thoughts on the fight and how it played out. Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible fight. I thought going into the last round, the fight was closer than the judges had it, but yeah, I mean, it lived up to what it was supposed to be. The card did.
And I want to make one other point before I address this. Kevin Holland left in a stretcher. The reason why you don't give it to people who just deserve it is because these guys are taking years off their life. Did you see the pain Max Holloway was in at that post-fight presser? He could barely get a few sentences out without having to clear his throat. He's probably got blood lodged in there or something like that. So that's what you got to realize is like these guys who earn fight of the night took years off their life. It's more than $50,000 at this point. That's why I said Max and Dustin deserve $100,000 checks each by noon today. They deserved it. And if it's not their $20K late fee every hour, bro, because it's getting ridiculous. Do you know how much that just got taken off of Dustin in his last fight there? He got dropped, what was it, twice? At least he got rocked. He got dropped twice in the first round. He got rocked in the second round. Rocked in the fourth round. Max Holloway goes down for the second time in his career. These aren't light shots. These aren't light fights. They both deserve $100K. Now, as far as Dana in the fight goes, I did think it was a lot closer than the judges made it out to be. I did. I thought that it could have been 2-2 going into the fifth. I also thought there was merit for 3-1 Max, but I was leaning more towards 2-2. The controversial round is the second round, and I guess now that I'm thinking in hindsight, I was leaning towards giving Max that second round too because they equally hurt each other, but Max dominated the round for longer. Dustin got that in the last minute, so I did lean towards that 3-1 going into the fourth, and then Max did pretty much win the fifth. So it was I guess it just comes down to, did you give Dustin that second round, in my opinion. I gave Dustin the third round. Clearly, I gave him the third round. But I gave Max the fourth and the fifth. No biggie here. You know what I mean?
It's great.
Fantastic. When you see Max do his point at the ground in the last 10 seconds, is there any part of you that thinks, just as a fight fan, like, you're going to have to stop doing this eventually?
No, I go, oh, hell yeah. Me and my crew were talking about it.
Clueless. Even Oscar Willis is trying to lay the softball up to Dana right now. Trying to say, hey man, do you kind of, like, as a fan, do you kind of, because obviously the promoter side of Dana loves it because it's a viral moment, but as a fan, the person who cares for these guys, like I was just mentioning about Max at the post-fight presser, as a fan, do you kind of wish to be like, hey man, there's not as much longevity in giving up free shots? That's what Oscar's trying to say to Dana right now. Do you kind of think that when you see Max point down, like, hey man, stop giving up free shots at the end of the fight? It's a good moment, but you're giving up longevity. You're giving these free shots. Dustin landed a free check left hook on Max in that. And Dustin ate about 4 or 5, but Max is doing it every fight. So the point is, Dana comes on here and says, oh, hell no. No. In fact, I'm salivating over the fact. Dana's salivating over the fact. Just comes off clueless, man. You're salivating over the fact of what Max is doing, but you're what? You don't understand the whole concept of CTE and shit like this, bro? You don't see what's happening to BJ Penn, Shane Carwin, all these guys, man? We're seeing it all play out already. That's why I'm big on the money. That's why I'm big on guys not giving up free shots, because you got to take the Floyd Mayweather approach and be good in your 40s, bro. All these guys are punch drunk in their fucking 40s. And I'm sick of seeing it personally. I hate to fucking see it. Now, is the BMF point down moment cool? Yes, it's a sick moment. And I'm not talking shit on that. I'm saying I'm sick of seeing guys punch drunk in their 40s. And in the UFC's situation, with no fucking money. Dana's salivating over the fact of this right now. Oh my god, I love it when Max does it. I don't even worry about his health at all. I don't even see Oscar's point. Cuts him off to tell him how excited he is about it.
Earlier tonight, before we came to the fights, like, everybody acts like they want to do that shit. They don't want to do it. Max is like the only guy that actually wants to do that. And it's one of the million reasons why people love him.
What did you think when Dustin went for his...
He's not lying there. He's not lying there.
Guillotine at the end of round 2, similar sort of reaction?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many of those moments in that fight where either guy could have won.
Do you look at Dustin's performance tonight? Because obviously, look, he's competing with one of the best in the world, and think to yourself, yeah.
I do also just want to point it out that Dustin is getting, like, I don't know, the journalists, I hate this, are putting out a narrative that Dustin shouldn't have gone for the guillotine, that he would have got Max out of there if he just kept punching and shit like that. I don't know, man. It's tough to say in the moment. You're acting as if, like, he didn't have it close. Max had a good defense to it. Early in Max's career, Dustin caught him that same exact way pretty much.
Maybe he started to slow down towards the end and it's right to walk away, or do you think, he could probably still fight against these guys and win?
Well, I've been saying that all week. I mean, they're both ranked number 4 and 5 and probably the nastiest division in the sport. But, you know me, when you think you should retire, you probably should.
As far as for Max, right, he's an interesting situation because the champion of his division is the guy he lost to in the other division. So does he have to work a little bit harder to get that rematch back, or do you think a performance like this shoes him right up there?
I think he's in a great position right now. He just defends that BMF title. He's ranked number 4 in the world there, and anything is possible for Max right now.
Max is in a great position, defended the BMF title. The boys are arguing about it right now as we speak. So, the other thing I was saying about this situation, and I think Dana's aware of it, that's why he's not shutting it down, is Ilya is not just going to fight anybody. He's probably not going to fight Arman. Probably not going to fight Gaethje, if I'm being honest. Ilya wants $1 million fights. Ilya wants $1 million fights. Max Holloway versus Ilya for the BMF and UFC title is $1 million fight, potentially. And Ilya Poirier versus Paddy Pimblett is $1 million fight. And believe me, mark my words, come back to this. Ilya most likely not fighting Justin Gaethje or Arman. Arman and Justin will fight for a different fucking title before that happens. Ilya's too big. Ilya versus Islam, another $1 million fight. Those are the 3 fights for Ilya on his horizon. I do see your point, though. I don't think fighters' pay should be our concern. There are actual problems in the organization we can speak of, all of which are unjust and all, but I appreciate you. Yeah, not even that the UFC fighter pay shouldn't be our concern. Like, I also am somebody who's concerned about it in the sense of, like, I don't think they're getting paid enough, right? Oh, but maybe you're telling me, okay, whatever you told me is fine. But what I'm saying is, I think it should be our concern to some degree. I even think that your heart is in the right place, being like, oh, you know what I mean? We should give it to some other guys and spread the wealth. But where I don't think it should be our concern is trying to spread out the pennies that the UFC is distributing instead of just demanding for more money. Our concern shouldn't be how should we distribute the pennies that the UFC is shelling out. Our concern should be, how do we get these guys more money? You know what I mean? Because clearly what they're getting isn't enough.
Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot. Do you think Ilya has done enough to fight Max for the BMF title and the lightweight title at the same time?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, fair enough. What were your thoughts on Kevin Holland and D-Rod fight? Kind of crazy, kind of a bit sloppy, but very entertaining. Give us your thoughts on that fight.
Yeah, I thought it was incredible. I don't know if I ever saw sloppy, but... those were 2 guys that were absolutely, they were in a war. And a couple times I felt like both of them were tired, but they dug deep and fought their asses off. Incredible fight.
Obviously, this week's been a great week.
They didn't win, but they're both going to do really well.
They're both going to do really well. That means, and I've asked fighters this, so I know this. That means nothing. That's just a way of saying they're getting paid well. Like, oh, I'm paying them good money. They're getting paid good regardless of the bonus. But you see how that can be misconstrued and taken like, oh, I'm going to take care of them? Dana's just counting their pockets at this point. Dana's just saying, no, they didn't get it, but they make enough money anyway. They're fine. That's what Dana's saying. Translation. And it's fine. but it needs to be cleared up.
Fair enough. This week's been great.
Also, I want to say Oscar Willis is not my issue. He's doing his thing. You got to get these questions out of the way as far as UFC 318. This is all part of it, and he's asking the right questions right now. BMF, UFC title up for the line. These are questions that have needed to be asked and answered. And there's a lot more that don't get asked and answered throughout this press conference that I'm going to point out to you. And I'm also going to point out all the stupid-ass questions that do get asked instead.
In New Orleans, it felt like the city's really sort of vibed well with the UFC, brought us in and all that sort of stuff. Do you think this could be a venue that we could come back to yearly? Like it?
I haven't been here in a long time. You know what's crazy?
We're not going to do this right now. We're not going to do this right now.
Tried to, since me, Frank, and the last time I was, has been amazing. I could go on and on shit. Yes.
Did you buy one of those hand grenade drinks from Bourbon Street?
Go back and get in the car and leave. So no, I.
And like he's someone that surely will be in the UFC Hall of Fame at some point down the line, right?
Now, this is annoying because it's just a pointed question. So what? Dana's got to answer yes. Dana doesn't really answer the question. He just says Dustin's a legend. And yeah, can Dustin go into the UFC Hall of Fame? Sure he can. But to ask Dana doesn't pull the strings here. I mean, unless he does, but I'm not aware that he does.
Yeah, listen, this is a kid that, I mean, you look at his last 11 fights and who he's fought and, you know, always comes to fight. Good guy to deal with. And, yeah, he could be.
And I know you said, like, if you think you should walk away, you should. But can you respect at least, like, his reasoning, too, as well? That he's saying, you know, he doesn't want to be one of those guys where the sport retires him and he wants to be able to, like, attend his daughter's wedding, all these sorts of things later in life.
I don't ever question when a guy says he wants to retire. Other than, I think Khabib.
Dana hates how Mike Bond just snuck that in. He wants to be able to attend his daughter's wedding later in life. Instantly was like, started to speak.
And Cormier are the two guys that I've ever said.
Dana's smarter than you think. He always pitches the positivity when you speak about CTE. Or even hint at it.
I don't know if, you know, it's time, but, yeah, that's totally up to him. This is a rough sport. He fought a rough fight tonight. And, yeah, I mean, the way tonight went, retiring seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah. Did you score it the same way as the judge?
He kept it a buck.
Judges, when he walked past press row, he said to me that he thought it was closer than they had.
Who did?
Dustin.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he did. I did, too. I just said it when I started the press conference. I thought going into the last round it was a lot closer than they had it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
you know what? Speaking of this, since we're on this topic right now, first poll of the night. Who won round 2? 2. Max. Dustin. Because that's going to tell us who won if Dustin lost 3-2 or 4-1. All right.
Just a few things outside tonight's event. Next week, we were supposed to have Aaron Pico and Movsar as the co-main in Abu Dhabi. That's obviously off now, and Aaron's saying he wants to fight in Chicago, and there's a spot. And then on the graphic, we saw a co-main event, TBA versus TBA. Is that something? Could that fight land on that card, and would it be that spot?
I have no idea. Right here, right now, I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, that's not very... My first initial reaction to that... I thought that's not very hopeful for this Pico and Movsar fight, for Dana to be reacting like that. I would have hoped for more positivity with that, for sure. But based off reading his body language, I'm not sure Movsar is going to take that. And it also seems like by putting that TBA poster right there, by Pico coming out on his Instagram the other day saying that the UFC's got a spot open, it looks like they're putting pressure on Movsar for pulling out. So you got to read between the lines sometimes. So the UFC is putting pressure. Also, the UFC, revealed shit to Pico. So, they're applying pressure there. That's what the UFC does to get you to say yes sometimes. And the fact that Dana reacted like this, it doesn't seem like they're going to headline or co-main event it, but we'll see. But I do want to say, before I start giving a lot of shit to these kids, and I'm saying kids, bro, because they are. Good, and some of them aren't. A couple of them aren't, but most of them are kids. Good question by Mike Bond that should be asked, needs to be answered. The other catch with these press conferences, I'm going to give free game right now but I'm also not at the same time. But in this case, I'm giving free game. At these press conferences, you're going to run into the question or the answer from Dana. It's, we don't make fights till Tuesday. However, this fight right here with Movsar and Pico is not one that he's going to wait till Tuesday. They're working to get that shit going now. You know what I mean? So that's one of the correct ones to ask. But you'll see a lot of guys do ask that stupid-ass question in a few minutes here. Oh, who should this person fight? Max and all these other people. And he's like, bro, we don't even... Like, come on, bro. So, again, wasting the time when they should be asking better questions. We're going to get into it.
As far as also future title fights, Kayla Harrison was saying yesterday at our Q&A that she would love for you guys to give Amanda Nunes an exemption from the full 6 months of testing so she can fight her sooner. Is that something you would consider?
I don't know. Definitely look into it.
Huh? I'm sorry, what did I just hear? For Kayla Harrison, who can't sell a fucking ticket to save her life, I can't wait for them to do this. I dare them to do this. And nobody will give a fuck, even if it does go down. But bottom line, what are we doing here? Give an exemption? Under what reason? Under what clause? Under what circumstance? Because Kayla's old as fuck? Is that the circumstance? Kayla's old as fuck? What the fuck are we doing? Dana, I like it. I think Kayla's saying that. Maybe there's some meaning to it. Maybe she just made that up out of thin air. But maybe she didn't. Maybe that's what's going on behind the scenes, and she just put that out there at that Q&A. But what the fuck are you guys doing, man? Give an exemption. Keep in mind, not even Conor could get an exemption. But Dana likes the idea now. For his girls.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. And obviously the next pay-per-view is Dricus and Khamzat. Just how big is that fight in your mind for the middleweight division? We've been waiting forever to see Khamzat finally compete for a championship.
Yeah, it's big, and it's big to be back in Chicago, sold out. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I got a feeling that's going to be very much like tonight. How about, I can't remember, second round or something. The crowd was so loud that the ref couldn't hear the bell. And, you know what I mean? Went like another 5 seconds longer than it should have. But, yeah, I expect Chicago to be that way, too.
And
yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, too, if I'm being real. Dricus versus Khamzat should be a good fight. And I need to look at that card. Not really sure who's on that card yet. But, or at least I don't remember off the top of my head. But I'm looking forward to that event as well, for sure.
I know you've got a lot of questions about the White House card potentially. Conor McGregor has said he's back in the pool with hopes of potentially fighting on that like a year from now. And then Nate Diaz said he would love to be the opponent. I know you've said that trilogy is something you could do anytime and it would make sense. Are you interested in doing business with Nate Diaz?
I love Nate. That fight's a year away. So I'm not even thinking about anything right now. The landscape will change so much by next 4th of July. You know, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows who's going to be on the card or what the main event will be or who will hold all the titles, and everything could be completely different. So it's not even worth thinking about it right now.
Not the question Mike Bond was asking. Of course, Nate hinted at the White House card, but really what Mike Bond just asked, Dana knows it, is would you be down to do business with Nate again? Of course, Dana's going to cop out and be like, well, I can't really talk about doing business with Nate for the UFC White House card because, you know what I mean? It's a year away, which totally does make sense. But again, it's not about Nate pertaining to the UFC White House card. You know, Nate versus Conor could happen at any time, or Nate just returning to fight somebody like an Ilia Topuria, another $1 million fight, anytime. Anytime. Also, I do think that they should re-sign Nate. I mean, the promotion has nobody right now. They got nobody. So, I do think that they should re-sign Nate. If Nate wants to do business, You should do business and stop being such a stickler, bro. You gotta stop. You gotta give up some control at some point.
Sure. I guess just one follow up on that though with Jon Jones.
I have other problems. I'm dealing with the logistics and all the things on figuring out how to make this thing happen. How do we want to do it? I'm gonna fly out there in about 10 days, 2 weeks, and we'll have all the renderings done. Sit down with him and go through the renderings and see what he wants to do and what he doesn't want to do.
Jon Jones says he wants to be on there too, and he says he would fight whoever the champion is at that time. But would you be okay with him like coming back and potentially winning that belt again? And you might have to go through.
Well, it's not even about him winning the belt. I mean, how I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah, especially the White House card.
Okay. Here we go a little bit too. You know how I feel about him. I'm sorry. As far as we're all concerned, the way you feel about Jon Jones is you've been right on his, sitting on his lap for the last year and a half. That's how we know you feel about Jon Jones. But I've been saying, I know how you really feel about Jon Jones because we all got history. We all got the clips, brother. So we all know that when Francis Ngannou was signed to the UFC, Jon Jones ran from him and all this other stuff, right? So, of course, once Francis left, Jon Jones is your new knight in shining armor, and you got to build him up. Understandably so, Dana. But where this comes into play of you not being genuine is it just comes back, and here it is right now. Now, Dana's going to go back to his true feelings about Jon Jones, which is that he can't trust Jon Jones. Jon Jones is a flake. You know what I mean? Jon Jones turned down Chael Sonnen on short notice when his original opponent pulled out. So here's what Dana's going to go through now. All Jon Jones' rap sheet. It's all free game because Jon Jones retired. Again, I understand it. He couldn't wait to shut down Jon Jones when he saw he unretired. Dana probably laughed and was like, dude, you fucked me over so bad with that Aspinall fight. You think I'm just going to give you what you want? You think after you just played around and played your card the way you played it, that when you come back and want to do business, I'm just going to be like, okay. No, there's new terms now, buddy. You fucked me. You left me high and dry, and I had to accept it. I wasn't planning on you coming back. For all I'm concerned, you know what I mean? I considered the losses I spent on you as a wash already. I'm not looking to get it back. You're going to have to sign a whole new deal, Johnny boy, if you want to come back and play ball. And that's if Dana wants to do business. I think, honestly, for me, personally, I'm over Jon Jones. Don't really give a fuck. If it happens, it happens. But, it's really tired to build the promo for it now. And like Dana said, if he doesn't want to give Johns the opportunity to headline the card because he thinks he's a flake, Jon could get injured. He's like 40-something, right? Or close to it. He just turned 38. So Jon has a history of A, taking a long time to sign a contract and shit like that. B, pulling out of the DC fight with the roid issue, right? Shoulder injury recently with Stipe, so his body's kind of going after years and years. Not fighting a replacement opponent when his original one pulled out, and then he had to accept Chael Sonnen, but he didn't. These are all reasons why Dana's not going to let him headline the UFC White House card. But if Jon Jones never retired, of course he can headline it. Of course. We love Jon Jones. The UFC, okay, name 3 stars in the UFC right now. Randy. Nate Diaz is a star. And not only is he a star, but he can build $1 million fight. Name, you know what I mean? 3 guys who can build $1 million fight. You got all the champions. Ilya could build $1 million fight, but he needs an opponent and a storyline. Arman Tsarukyan and Justin Gaethje can't even give him $1 million fight. Justin Gaethje, one of the fucking, you know what I mean? Biggest hitters in the game. He is a big star, but does he sell?
Dana, just seeing how this city and this arena reacted to not just Poirier, but the other fighters from Louisiana, how special was that for you?
Oh, it's always.
Here we go. Stupid ass fucking questions. Is that what you came here for, buddy? Is that what you came here for?
It's great. I mean, every time we go somewhere and the fans love what's going on, it's a hell of a night for me.
Dana, just one quick one. This week you had Power Slap piggybacking with the UFC here in New Orleans. It was the first time that Power Slap had left New Orleans or Vegas, other than going out to the Middle East. So it seemed like it brought a great culture. Had a great time out there last night. The fans loved it. What was that like out here this week?
It was a great weekend for us here, yeah. And I'm glad this is where we brought it first. And that arena was like it was built for Power Slap. I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. The fights were incredible, and yeah, it was a home run. So I'm really happy about the entire weekend here in New Orleans.
Power Slap. How could we not ask about Power Slap? Alex Pereira is not even a champion, Randy. Alex Pereira just fought for a title with Magomed Ankalaev. Didn't sell $1 million pay-per-view. He is a star, but when we're talking numbers, bro, very few guys. I'll give you Alex Pereira.
Do you think that
Shout out to Randy, my guy Randy.
once you get Power Slap kind of on the road officially like that, maybe almost every pay-per-view will have a Power Slap card to go with it?
I don't know. My game plan with that, for those of you that have come and seen it live, it's like the UFC in the early days. You know, half the battle for me was getting people into the live event, because nobody would come to a live event and go, yeah, I don't ever want to come to one of these again. And that never happens with Power Slap. It's the exact opposite. Everybody who comes to Power Slap goes, wow, this is way better than I expected it to be, and it's a great live event. So the game plan is exactly the same. Move it around the country, take it everywhere, and let people come experience it live.
Oh my God, good for you, Dana. And you know what? I don't even care to talk shit on Power Slap. Honestly, it's not even what I need to do at this moment in time, and I'm not really gonna talk shit on Power Slap. But it's just like, what, dude? Again, you came here to ask him about Power Slap, buddy. We got pressing issues that we can ask. And Oscar and Mike Bond did their thing. They asked that little softball shit, the shit that also needs to be asked, though, at the same time. They did. But they don't want to ask the dirty questions, right? Now, these guys, these little twerps in here, so to speak, they got to ask the dirty questions. Yes, I'm talking McGregor. And I'm talking more too. But let's go on with this one. Power Slap, bro? You're asking Power Slap right now? What, to get in Dana's good side? Buddy, you could come to this event for 5 fucking years, and he will not remember your name. You trying to buddy up to Dana, thinking like by you asking about Power Slap is going to be something. Nate Diaz re-signing with the UFC to fight Ilia Topuria, to fight Max Holloway for the BMF title. Nate Diaz, the guy who created the title. Yes, I do. The storyline of re-signing with the UFC. Nate Diaz will roast everybody on the fucking roster, bro. And not that roasting is going to sell you 1 million pay-per-views, but Nate just connects with the fans, man. It's hard to explain. Nate just connects with the fans in a way that no other fighter, even fighting right now, really does. Yes, that is true, Randy. They do have fan bases. They do have fan bases in their regions. But as far as America goes, Islam is starting to cross over. Ilya is starting to cross over, and I'm not really denying them. So I don't necessarily know what the argument is there. I said Ilya versus Islam is $1 million fight. Ilya versus Max is $1 million fight, potentially. So I'm really not going against those guys at all. Pereira has the American fan base and the Brazilian fan base. Charles Oliveira's got the fan base. But to act like we don't, that like Nate Diaz is like a no sell, Nate Diaz is a fun fight. I mean, think about it. The same people who've been talking about having Conor back and all this shit before some of his recent antics. Nate Diaz is of that fucking caliber. Paddy's a star too. Paddy's a good one. Ilya Paddy would sell, and I also agree with that one too. Randy, we're on the same page, brother. We're on the same page, brother. The only thing we're not on the same page about is Nate Diaz selling. And I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think Nate Diaz sells. I think he sells based off the storyline. Ilya Topuria, Max Holloway, Conor McGregor, if somehow that fucking happens. And maybe a matchup at 170 if there's somebody there. But I don't think there's anybody there right now.
Thank you.
Dana, you had mentioned about New Orleans and everything like that. We had of course Dustin. Earlier we had Brendan Allen. We had Carly Judiz. What can you say about these Louisiana fighters that you have right now?
What can I say about them?
Yeah,
we like them. They're great. Tonight was a huge success. The obviously the gate, the buzz, the energy in this town, and everything. I mean, it couldn't have been better, and everybody showed up and put on a great performance. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's an annoying question. Look at Dana's eyes. He's like, bro, what do you want me to say about my Louisiana fighters? As if that means something. Like, they're good, bro. They're good.
Very happy.
Just one quick, maybe stupid one for me. I always notice the Power Slap solo cup there. What is Dana White drink in that power? I see with
Oh my God, Randy, you did name good stars for me. You did, and I can't disagree with them. I should have told you to name more though. That's where my mistake was. And tell me who sold $1 million pay-per-views right now. All of that is estimations. We think that they got the potential, right? But who's done it? McGregor sold 8 in a row. Nate was on 2 of those. See what I'm trying to tell you, buddy? These guys have the potential, but they have not done it yet. Now, if we had these guys in the UFC with the big dogs too, which is the John Jones is still signed, then we'd be talking. But right now, there's nobody currently signed that's got $1 million pay-per-view underneath their belt. Not one person. That's what I mean when I say that there's no stars in the UFC. That's what I mean. Obviously, we got some guys with big potential. But come on, brother. We could argue about this all day. We got to get through this.
Lots of different things.
What's in that post fight?
Right now,
That's right. This cup. Oh my God. I mean, these guys. Get them. Fire him. Never let him come back. Never let him come back. Dana's drinking Coke Zero, which is just a disgusting choice of beverage. Dana's one of those keto freaks whose gut is screaming at him to fucking eat a carbohydrate instead of substituting it for stevia fucking sugar. Dana's gut is screaming at him. Coke Zero. Out of your fucking mind, bro. And you're supposed to be a health nut.
Coke Zero. Yeah.
Dana over here.
Yep.
Just one. 2 fan favorites in the lightweight division, Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway. They both lost to the champion. Ilya, are you open to doing a Max Holloway-Charles Oliveira fight for the BMF belt?
Anything?
Randy, don't do that now, Randy. George Masvidal, Nate Diaz, I'm pretty sure sold somewhere in a ballpark. George Masvidal did have $1 million pay-per-views under his belt. If I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, honestly. But I feel like Nate versus George probably did about $1 million. Meaning, Nate can sell too. But yeah, Ilya versus Paddy, Ilya versus Islam. I'm with it, bro. We don't even need to argue about Nate unless he gets signed. So it is what it is. I'm going to leave it out alone for now.
Things possible. I like his idea. I like your idea. The great thing about that division is there's
they asked Dana White about if Max versus Charles for the BMF would be a fight. It could be. I see Max calling out Charles, saying Charles was complaining about a shoulder injury, which is what he kind of hinted at in that loss in their first fight. But Max cleared that up. He said there was no injury.
So many incredible fights that you can do. You know, you have Ilya, who's the champion. You got him with a BMF belt, and there's a lot of things we can do.
Thanks, Dana.
Yep.
Dana, just one for me about the White House card. Do you expect the logistics to be more intense than the Sphere was, or do you think it's going to be easier than?
No. Not the Spheres. Listen, there's been one person that's done the Sphere, right? I thought after we did it, people would be running to the Sphere to do it. The Sphere is very challenging and very expensive. The difference with the White House is that I don't think they've ever had anything very heavy out on the lawn, and the octagon alone weighs 20,000 pounds. So,
you don't think the outdoor is going to be harder to deal with than?
Oh, it will be, in its own ways, but not harder than the Sphere. Okay. Sphere is very unique and very challenging.
Hey Dana, I have a question right here.
Yep.
What do you think about Islam Dulatov's performance? He's a huge star in Germany. The UFC hasn't been in Germany since 2016. What do you think about the performance? And
again, well, you know, these journalists who come here just for one fucking fighter is crazy. What'd you think about Islam Dulatov? Nobody gives a fuck, bro.
When is the UFC coming back to Germany? The fans are waiting. Everybody is going crazy.
When is the UFC coming back to Germany? Fans are waiting. Everybody's going crazy. Listen, man. If Max Holloway never got his UFC Hawaii card, it doesn't matter how much fans want it, man. It doesn't matter how much fans want it. The UFC's going to go there or they're not. But to come here and ask these stupid-ass questions is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. What's Dana going to say? No, we don't want to go to Germany. If it's not booked, then it's not booked. But you coming here and asking the question isn't going to fucking make Dana go back to his office. There's already... Think about how many people came out for Marlon Chito Vera's Ecuadorian media fan base. Have we done UFC Ecuador?
Crazy. When is the UFC coming back to Germany?
What do you think about Islam Dulatov? His performance? He's a huge star in Germany. UFC has not been to Germany since 2016. When are we coming back to Germany?
Yeah, that's a great question, sir.
Thank you.
So he obviously...
He goes, thank you.
Yeah, well, obviously he won a performance bonus, so he obviously did great tonight. But yeah, Germany's interesting, and you know we had a run there where we were heading to Germany all the time, like you said. And
does it make you proud to see someone like Dustin and Max? They have over 60 combined fights in the UFC. Does it make you proud to, like, even you grew up with them together and see how far they come? They always performed, always made weight. Does it make you proud, like, to have two fighters like that on the roster?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's why. That's why. You know, all of you guys and myself, and you know, if you look at the way we celebrated him tonight on television, you guys probably didn't see it, but if you see a lot of stuff, even Mark Zuckerberg had posted about, you know, how we told the story of Dustin Poirier tonight. Yeah, we have a lot of respect for him, proud of him, and same thing with Max.
Is there a favorite moment in Dustin's career? Maybe a story that we don't know, or like a favorite fight, a moment of Dustin's career?
Insanity, Soda Pop. Insanity. Fire that guy immediately.
Off the top of my head, I mean, he's had a badass, unbelievable career and has accomplished a lot of things. But off the top of my head, there's not one moment that stands out, no.
And last question for me. How big is the possibility that we ever see a podcast on Joe Rogan, you, Joe Rogan, and Conor McGregor?
Probably never.
Fucking idiot. Who comes here to ask this stupid ass question? I'm like yelling, you know what I mean? I'm trying not to fucking yell. Can we get you, Joe Rogan, Conor McGregor on a podcast? That's what you come here for. That's what you came here for. All right, Randy. Good work, Randy. I knew Masvidal had $1 million pay-per-view in there somewhere. I'm surprised Nate versus Masvidal didn't. What was this question that just got asked again? Conor McGregor on a podcast. Man, there's such better questions to be asked. But you got these fanboys who just come here and all they want to do is play with Dana. They just want to play weird shit with Dana. Ask him the real fucking questions, bro. Ask him why Renato Moicano turned down money in the antitrust lawsuit. Ask the fucking question. We want to know it. Like I said, Conor McGregor's dick pic, bro. Ask him about it. I got something else. Let me see what else I got for him as far as the topics he should have talked about or been asked about. Let me find it. Ask him about Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier. That's a solid question to ask him. That's all I got at the moment. Those two. I also got... That's all for now. But again, instead of fucking these stupid ass questions, and if there aren't enough questions, then let him get out of here. Do you see the guy who asked Dana about Dustin Jacoby? I didn't. Maybe I'm about to get to it. That's what I'm saying, bro. These guys, even the German guy who came in, I mean, I guess Dana knew him probably because he recognized the name and he fought tonight. But Dana doesn't know him. He's just another face. Shout out to my boy Prime for hopping in the chat.
Probably never.
Thank you.
Holy.
Dana, great show tonight.
All right, Randy, I'm gonna give it to you. Maybe Poirier versus Nate. Bad question too. I'm gonna admit that one. Damon Blackshear, elite fighter right there.
Thank you.
Dana, I want to go back to the early prelims. Jimmy Crute called out Dustin Jacoby. We know Dustin's out with a hand injury, obviously, but he kind of teased about Dustin kind of teased about November 30th down for the challenge. You know, those two guys, Jimmy performed well tonight. What kind of matchup would that look like?
Right here, right now. Again, I don't even think about this shit at the end of the night. We'll take the weekend, and on Tuesday we do matchmaking, and we start to talk about what's next and what we want to do and what we don't want to do. I really don't think about that stuff tonight.
I told you guys before, you can't ask too many of these matchmaking questions, and you should know better, man, and ask something better. You showed up all the way over here to ask him about Jimmy Crute versus fucking Dustin Jacoby. Are you kidding me? Let this man go, man.
Go ahead.
Dana, now that Dustin's career is...
Randy, Dana don't know Islam Dulatov, bro. Get the hell out of here with that. Yeah, Dana, it's like, bro, you came all the way here to ask about Justin Jacoby. Insanity.
Said and done, what do you want people to take away from not just his career, but also the growth that he had from the time that he started up to now?
Yeah, well, like I said, I think tonight, you know, we celebrated Dustin, you know, on the broadcast, and then to have the fight here in front of his, you know, his people, and they showed up and they, you know, they made the event really fun tonight. My girl Amber was saying to me, I was already in the back room, and she said not one person has left this arena when he was still out there talking. That's pretty special. I mean, you guys know you've done enough fights. Before Rogan even gets up into the octagon, half the place is gone. So the fact that they all stayed for him tonight, showed up for him tonight, broke the arena record tonight, the list goes on and on. A big night for him.
Thank you, Dana.
Dana, over here. One question, Dana.
Yep.
Over here, back here.
Yep.
Do you think it played a factor that Dustin announced the retirement? Because it kind of seemed like just the emotions, everything that he went through kind of played a factor early on in that fight. Do you think that played a factor early on in the fight for him?
Oh, my God. Why don't you ask Dustin? Why don't you ask Dustin that question?
Do I think that because he announced
just the emotions he went through during the week, people sending him cards and all the things, the reception he got, do you think that kind of played a factor, just kind of making him emotional in early on in that fight?
You'll have to ask him when he gets in here. I don't know, but yeah, I would imagine that it was hard for him not to be emotional. I mean, even when he was saying earlier, what if he had won? Would he come back? Would he, I think that when you do what these guys do, and you come here and this is your last fight ever, and you walk out of that tunnel and you get the reception that you get at the end of a round that you did well, it's got to be so hard to walk away. I'm sure it was very emotional. It's probably...
Just one more. Could you, obviously don't expect you to mention any names, but if another fighter who you thought in the same regard as Dustin came to you and said, I want to do a retirement fight in my hometown, would you try to effort on doing something like this again?
Well, we always try to, there's guys who, start to work their way up and then want to fight in their hometowns. Some guys who become big don't want anything to do with fighting in their hometowns. There's a lot of different feelings about it. But yeah, I mean, we always try to figure stuff out if guys want it, but it's not always possible to say, okay, we'll give you a retirement fight in your hometown and you don't have the title, or, you could do a fight night or something like that. But yeah, we would always try to do it.
Yeah, a lot of stars got to align. I don't know.
Interesting question, honestly. I didn't mind listening to that answer.
If you were asked about Patricio Pitbull, 2 fights in, what do you think of what he's done here?
What was the question?
We don't give a fuck. Is this over?
I mean, it's a lot of pressure. It's a different...
Thank you, Dana.
Cool. Thanks. Have a good night.
Okay. All right. So let me just... do that real quick while I pull up the next screen. Yeah, they never put Buck on a pay-per-view card. Wonderboy Buck headliner on the prelims over instead of Kayla Harrison. But it's all good. It's all good. Shout out to Buck. We get awarded with free fucking knockouts when it comes to Buck. Fight night headliners. Now, I do have a couple things I want to talk about, boys. So if I can, let me see here. Okay, there we go. Now, the controversy. Still mine. Ilia Topuria, after Max Holloway defends his BMF title. Max Holloway clapped back today. Right on, brother. Right on. Here it is. And then, insert Jack Della Maddalena. Now, he claims he's the lineal champion. I'm assuming that's because what? Kamaru Usman beat George Masvidal. Then Leon Edwards beat Kamaru. And then you just go down the lineage of welterweight champions. I mean, come on, bro. Again, here's where my narrative is going to switch. I kind of was saying Okay, Max is Ilya's the uncrowned BMF champ, after knocking out Max. But here's a couple things. Number one, Max does have a point when he says it wasn't on the line. It wasn't on the line, bro. It simply wasn't. And that's the same thing we're talking about when it comes to, I guess you could say, Masvidal and Usman, in a way. That's Usman never walked around saying he was the BMF champ. On top of that, it was at featherweight. Okay, Randy, you could think that. As far as the first fight with Max and Ilya goes, that was at featherweight. That's not necessarily BMF territory. BMF historically has been 170 and 155. So, Ilya claiming he's the BMF champ after defeating Max at 145, it just kind of, that right there is kind of like, I don't know if that's really BMF. At 145, though. So then, you take after the fight, and Max says he's down to put it up against Ilya now at 55, and that's what I think it should be. Now it's for all the marbles. Now, all the glory. It's at 155. We're going to put it up. And so I'm going to stop saying that Ilya is like the uncrowned BMF champ because it took place at 145. That's one of my mainest discrepancies in that. And I can't wait for Max versus Ilya, BMF versus Undisputed. Now, JDM, all right, buddy. I mean, I get it. Honestly, not bad. Not bad to come in here and insert yourself. I get it. I get the game. So it's all good. Good on you. It's kind of what you got to do. Now, here it is. Here's what Randy wants to talk about. Is the outcome different at 155? I believe it is. I believe the outcome will be different at 155. I do. You go back to that first fight and Max was doing well until he wasn't. First round, Max was doing decent. Once Max got caught, he wasn't really able to recover, and Ilya got him. But like I said in the stream last night, Max he showed a level of evolution. He understands, I think, some of Ilya's combos now and shot selection. As far as the 4-punch combos, anything above 2 to 3, really. So I do think it goes different at 155. I do think if Ilya rocks Max, it will be a lot different. I think that Max fought Dustin in the same way he tried to fight Ilya, which is countering with big shots. And let's see, can Ilya take a big shot from 155 Max? I think Max was weight drained at 45. Honest opinion. I think it's a whole nother fight. The way Max fought Dustin in there, now granted, Max got a couple points bounced off his chin from getting dropped really badly. So, I mean, that just withered it a little bit more. But I do think it's a different fight. I do think it's a different fight. Do I think it's a different outcome? Tough to say. Ilya's chin has been cracked. Multiple times. Already. Ilya and Max both got the same amount of damage on their chin, getting dropped multiple times. I think Ilya got dropped by Jai Herbert and then once in his regional career. Yeah, that is true. Dustin nearly knocked out Max, but he didn't. Ilya KOs Max again. I mean, we're all entitled to that opinion. Dustin can hurt Max, then Ilya KOs him at 155. Ilya hits hard at 55 as well. All this is true, but like I said, that first fight is not as Max was doing well until he wasn't. If Max can recover like he did in this fight against Dustin, it's a whole nother ballgame, and that's what you guys probably aren't factoring in. If Dustin can hurt Max at 55, then Ilya KOs him. That's not accounting for how Max recovered in this fight and went all 5 rounds. Have we seen that from Ilya? Let's see that from Ilya. not giving Max credit for recovering at 55 pounds when Max admitted it. Dustin had him out bad. Not giving him credit for recovering, and then also seeing how he couldn't recover at 45. You guys don't see the difference? I'm just saying. I love Ilya too. I think Ilya is a good fighter. Who's we, Soda Pop? Holloway? Oh, Poirier recovered from a head kick to the chin at 55. Yeah, against Jai Herbert. And credit to Poirier. Brody, we getting him up right now. Now, this is what I want to get into. So here's the real question now. Do we want to see the Max fight again? I mean, we got a lot of conversation about it. Put up both titles. Ilya Topuria. All right, here we go.
I mean, a long.
Hey, Soda Pop, we got two boys that can recover at 55 then. Because Max can too. So, let's see it.
Long.
Now I want to say this. DJ, you know, I did read this this headline already, but beforehand I thought the same thing. Bro, Ilya versus Arman ain't happening. Ilya versus Patty, yeah. Probably Max Holloway versus like a Dan Hooker I like. Sounds like the best bet to me. DJ was extremely disrespectful to Dustin Poirier. For some odd reason, he wanted to make it crystal clear that Poirier was never the elite of the elite. Really weird. I don't know why he's bitter. I don't honestly know why at all.
I mean, a long career of the ups and downs, the knockouts, him knocking people out, him submitting people, him getting submitted. I mean, his career is kind of like up and down. Very successful because he's made a lot of money.
See what I mean? Very successful because he's made a lot of money. Not because he was a world champion and shit like this. At least the interim. Like, dude, you could have been a lot like chiller about this, DJ.
Never became like the undisputed champion, but interim champion he was. But yeah, he was. What's all that music coming from? Yeah, but when it came to like the brawls, I think Dustin probably had one of the best brawls when he would fight. One of the best brawls when he fight. But guys,
one of the best brawls when he would fight. He's not gonna be like his jiu-jitsu sick, his boxing is sick. Like, come on, bro. Really odd way of putting it, honestly, by DJ here, and I don't know why. My thing about DJ knows how to play the game because he's got a successful YouTube channel, but he didn't want to play that game when he was fighting. DJ loves to stir up shit now and, you know, ask the questions and shit like that. But, bro, you didn't know how to start beefs and all that shit or sell pay-per-views back when you were fighting? Your YouTube channel is booming, bro. You could have done that during your career and you would have had a lot more fans. Nah, Randy. He could have been a lot nicer, honestly. He could have been a lot nicer. DJ's, you know, he's an odd one for me. He's all right, but I got my things about DJ. But to be honest with you, super backhanded compliment way of congratulating Dustin on a career. Him submitting people, him getting submitted. What the fuck does that even mean? That literally barely means anything. Him knocking people out, him getting knocked out, that's what you're going to choose to speak on? I mean, I think that Dustin getting all this shine, this would be my guess. Dustin getting all this shine might have rubbed DJ the wrong way. DJ's being like, I never got any of that, and I was like a 16-time world champion, whatever the number was. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Now, let me take this off because I don't want to get copyright and shit. Yeah, it means Dustin is resilient, but he could have said it like that and left some of the other shit out of that. A long, long, long career of ups and downs. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Okay, just a couple things on the way out. Marcus McGee fight week, baby. I think that's going to be a good fight, Soda Pop. I'm looking forward to that one. Marcus McGee got good skills. Is he getting slept on? Everyone laughing at that matchup. He doesn't deserve it. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Marcus has, like, knocked out everybody he's fought so far, including on short notice. Here's what you say about Dustin Poirier. You say, damn, man, shout out to Poirier, man. Shout out to Poirier. The heart of a lion. Someone who scraped and clawed and tried his best to get to the title. Ended up capturing the undisputed title against a world champion at the time, just at featherweight. Fought for the title several times. Didn't get it, but put up great fights. Fought McGregor in that big build-up that first time. Avenged his loss to McGregor. Then he capped it off by winning the trilogy against McGregor. Won the BMF title. That's what you say about Poirier. That's his fucking accomplishments. Not what DJ just said. Not what DJ just said. Hey, Randy, you must not be familiar with Soda Pop's bets. So let's see. Soda Pop been right a lot lately. Bro. Hey, shout out to Jose Miguel Delgado, baby. And shout out to all those boys at MMA Lab. They cooking over there. Couple of things real quick. Are we in agreement Dan Hooker next? Charles Oliveira coming off a loss. I say Dan Hooker. Brendan Allen, really bad choice of wording here, brother. Marvin Vettori is grieving, and you did not need to say this. I'm not losing my brothers in attendance is a messed up thing to say in front of Vettori, not gonna lie. I agree, Lonov. I agree. Timing. Drop the link to the page, Randy. We trying to make some money, bro. UFC prediction tracker. What the hell is that? Is that even possible? And Randy, yeah, downing Delgado could be the biggest mistake, and I'm going to hold your feet to the fire once he does capture that featherweight title, and then we moving up. Jose Delgado is a prospect I'm high on. That could be a multiple division champion. He's got the frame to go 145, 155, 170. And he's young enough. He just got to fucking strap a rocket ship to him right now. Randy, who did you bet on? I need to know. Who did you bet on in the main event? Dustin or Max? That's going to tell me a lot about you. You be criticizing me. You be disagreeing with me. But now let's see where you were at. Let's see where you were at in the main event. I almost want to think you chose Dustin. Give him the gradual build up, but give him like a ranked guy now, Randy. Give Delgado a ranked guy now. Go like top 5 or 15, top 10, top 5. And then like, you know what I mean? Number 1 contender fight, title shot. Damn, Soda Pop, that's wild. He's responding to you about game planning. Randy, who did you have in the main event last night? How about this one? You boys see this? Max goes, I heard Oliveira was yapping about an injury in our first fight. Last time I checked, the doctor said there was no injury. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. Like I said earlier, Charles went down in that first fight and grabbed his collarbone and shit, bro. So he was like faking, or I mean, I thought he had some collarbone issue. People were speaking about it, but I guess Max got word that nothing was wrong. I don't know where Charles was yapping about that. Probably on the Brazilian podcast that he usually goes on. I don't think this is the BMF fight, though. Call me crazy, but I don't. I got, you know what I mean? Something better for the BMF fight, honestly. Something better. Dan Hooker versus Max is good for the BMF. Max versus Ilya double title fight. I like it. Soda Pop wants the Charles versus Max rematch. I'm not here for it right now. I'm not here for it. Hey, how about this one? The fucking... Bro, look at this haircut. This is a wild haircut. Honestly, I like Max versus Dan Hooker more. But I also just like Max in some of these big matchups, you know? Like, I like Max versus... Honestly, I know I just said the opposite. But I like what Max likes in a way. And I did like hearing Max call out Charles and call out Ilya. You know, so like if Max likes it, I like it in that context, in that aspect of things. But I'm saying like, if Max doesn't say who he wants and it's left up to me, I'm saying I don't really want Charles. I want Dan Hooker. I also saw I didn't see the whole clip, but I saw Max kind of addressing it in that post fight what I got y'all. In the post fight media thing that he does with the UFC YouTube channel, Max got asked about the whole Dan Hooker thing. And I think Max, based off the clip I saw, it didn't seem like Max was down because he's like, we need rankings and shit like that. And then the fans should make it. So maybe that was Max's subtle way of shutting it down. And then he be, you know, hyping up the Charles one. This was also said on the YouTube UFC post-fight thing. So looks like Max wants Charles. All right, Randy. So I see you though. You're not a believer in Holloway, and that's gonna, you know what I mean? That's gonna sway what you talk to me about Ilya and shit like that. That's gonna sway, you know what I mean? I see what you're up to. You're not a Holloway believer, so you're never gonna choose him over Holloway or over Ilya. Vivek, I don't think it's happening, brother. Pitbull over Ige. Good pick. Looks like Max wants Charles anyway. I want Ilya versus Patty too. That's the fight to make. Randy, I feel like I'm going with Patty. And I like Ilya, but I don't know. I'm going to lean with Patty. I'm with it, Soda Pop. A lot of people aren't into the Alex versus Onk rematch, but I'm into it. I'm into it. I thought the first fight was closer to than kind of people be criticizing for. I thought that Onk clearly won, but I just thought it was a close fight. Okay, Randy. All right, Randy. Fair enough. You're Ilya Topuria supporter. I can't hate on that. I love Max Holloway, though. I love my boy Max. Do we got any more topics for the day? I mean, we could talk about Pacquiao versus Barrios real quick. I'd love to see if Randy's got a disagreement with me on this one. Oh, what do we think about Paulo Costa versus Khamzat? I feel like when you got matchups like that, UFC should just make it. But the whole Pacquiao versus Barrios thing, Barrios got big because I think he fought like who did Barrios fight? Like Tank? Yeah, so this is the thing. Barrios got big from fighting Tank, you know, and obviously he fought Tank just to get set up to lose. But now Barrios is like a name. I hate when they do that. They did that with Jaime Munguia. Like, Jaime Munguia lost to Canelo, and now Jaime Munguia is supposed to be a star. Barrios isn't a star, bro. He lost to Tank. And he didn't build that fight. I mean, yeah, he didn't really build it at all. And Pacquiao's like 46, bro. I hate that I don't, like, support it that heavily, but it's just so tired of seeing these old guys still fighting, bro. Pacquiao won. That was fucked. I don't even know who won it. There we go. We need Dricus to beat Khamzat so that fucking Paulo can get that fight. Paulo's gonna be front row, front and center. He wants Khamzat win or lose, and I love that. They're going to give Khamzat Paulo if he wins, for sure. Oh, it was a draw. It was a draw. They always do that in boxing. Randy bet Pac. Pac did great. He should have won. I saw Pac was looking like his old self out there. Not like he was looking against Floyd. But, so it looks like Tyler was into the fight then. Shout out to the boys who were into the fight. Somebody's got to tune in and watch, you know. But I was locked in on UFC last night for sure. Plus Usyk Dubois. If I was going to watch boxing, it was probably going to be that one. What do we think, boys? What else is poppin'? Let me look up some stories, or I might just dip. Shout out to Tyler. Yo, Tyler, who'd you bet on in the main event last night? Damn, skip Costa to watch Pacquiao. Honestly, I feel like the Costa fight was low-key a banger. I don't know if you caught up on that Costa fight, but if you didn't, I would go back and watch it. I'm going to scroll Instagram and just see what's going on here. See what I can share with the boys. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. They should have asked Dana too. Why didn't Lil Wayne walk out Poirier? That's another big question. Why didn't Lil Wayne walk out Poirier? Or sorry, I mean perform. Why didn't Lil Wayne perform while he was walking out Poirier? Why didn't Max get a rapper to walk himself out? That's what you guys got to ask. These are big questions. Like, honestly. The fact that Lil Wayne didn't get to perform while walking out Holloway is weird. We need to know the answer to that. But instead, they're asking Dana what's in his cup. Or they're asking Dana about Power Slap. Tyler, you bet decision in the main event last night for Holloway Poirier? Lil Wayne did put the belt around Max. So I guess that was fine. But, bro, he was supposed to perform. Who the fuck's just going to walk you out? Exactly, though, Randy. We need Dana to fucking answer that question. Because he's going to say something like that, I'm sure. And then we're going to start fucking protesting and rioting. And exposing it. But these guys, bro, they don't ask the fucking question. He did put the belt around Holloway. But the other thing, too, bro, if you're going to let Lil Wayne walk out Poirier, then let Max get walked out, too. Randy, you can't disagree with me on that one. And if you do, then I know you're just disagreeing with everything I have to say. You've taken the UFC side on everything so far, Randy. Tell me right now that the UFC should have given Max Holloway a musical artist to walk him out. You got to go against the UFC at least once, Randy. I'm waiting, Randy. I'm waiting on your ass. Oh, Dillashaw thinks Khamzat's going to beat DDP, boys. Platinum Mike Perry thinks it's a 50-50. Bro, bullshit, man. Bullshit, Randy. That's a fucking cope if I ever heard one. Max didn't want it. So what, So Max or Randy thinks that the UFC went up to Max and Max is like, no, it's Dustin's night. I don't want to steal his moment by having a rapper too. Bro, if the UFC went up to Max, didn't even ask him and said, yo, we're getting Dustin a musical artist to walk out with him, Lil Wayne. Who do you want? We're going to make a call. Can you give us like 2 or 3 names? Max isn't going to turn that shit down, bro. Are you kidding me? He's calling Moki Boy from fucking Y&I. Maybe he's not from Y&I, but he's calling Moki Boy, bro. And if he's not calling Moki Boy, he's probably doing like 21 Savage or something like that. Max definitely didn't turn it down, bro. That's a fucking cope. Max knew it was Poirier's night. My boy Randy, bro. Love you, bro, but not that one. If he wanted it, they would have let him. Bro, they should have approached him. No, I don't think Mike Perry's fighting Yoel Romero. That would be fucking crazy. And a death sentence for fucking Mike Perry. Are you kidding me? Mike Perry, based off that press conference I saw, he's going to fight that dude he knocked out early in his career, or he's going to fight one of the champs of BKFC. Bro, getting a walkout with a musical artist doesn't take away from Dustin at all. It adds to the atmosphere of the event. 2 walkouts with musical artists adds to the magnitude of the event. Having 2 stars like that. Come on, Randy. I get what you're saying as far as like Max being aware that it's Dustin's night, but you saying that would have taken away from Dustin's night in any way, making it equal, fucking having 2 artists walk him out, makes no sense. Makes no sense. I was just talking about something. Oh yeah, Mike Perry. Yeah, I think Mike Perry's gonna fight either the BKFC champ or the guy he knocked out early on. I'll tell you, Tyler, because I fuck with Tyler right now. Tyler's being cool. I fuck with Randy too, low key. But me and Randy give each other tough love, huh? All right, let me see here. Bro, Max didn't say he didn't want to walk out. They asked him who he would let walk him out, and he said Moki Boy. You're putting words in his mouth, Brody. Who's the BK? Oh, Mike Perry, yeah. Mike Perry's gonna fight probably. Damn, Mike Perry fought Jason Manley? That's crazy. Mike Perry's gonna fight David Mundell probably. David Mundell. Or I'll tell you the other guy is gonna fight. We need Conor versus Mike Perry and BKFC. Bryce versus Saeed. Honestly, Bryce has not shown to really hang with the elite guys. And Saeed, he's got a slick submission game to him. I think UO's too big for Conor, bro. Oh, I think it's Josh Dyer. Josh Dyer is the other guy that Mike could fight. He's the light heavyweight champion. And honestly, Josh Dyer looks like a tough individual. He calls himself the Ken doll. I don't know about that. 4-4 in MMA this guy is. But coming off 2 knockouts, 2 no contests. So he just got the title. At what weight? $185. What did Mike Perry latest fight at? Mike Perry's last fight in BKFC was at £185. Yeah, Mike versus Josh Dyer or Mike versus Dave Mundell. Probably the fights to make, honestly. What's UL's last sanctioned bout then? I'm pretty sure he moved up to light heavyweight, bro. 185 is crazy for Yoel. Unless the age... Yeah, weight class, light heavyweight. Last weigh in 205. Tyler. Last weigh in 205 for Yoel Romero. Yoel did 2 dirty boxing bouts. The first one was at 265 pounds, bro. They do, Randy. That's why I wasn't too high on the Manny Pacquiao fight, but at least you know Manny Pacquiao is just doing it for the love of the game and not because he needs money. I hate seeing guys like Tony Ferguson and shit still doing it. Yeah, Tyler, but he got paid big for that one. I don't think the BKFC is going to compensate him like that to fight at 205. You know? But I think that's it, boys. I think that is the stream. We covered everything. Hey, so we got the Wednesday show at 4 p.m. Tune in. And who knows? I might go live more throughout the week, but maybe not. And I'll also say, let me end this poll real quick. All right, Tyler, we're going to see. We're going to find out. All right, boys. Appreciate you tuning in for this late night stream. Peace out, boys.